Edge computing and privacy. You said something to think about are the combinations of data that independent are not harmful, but together are. Can you give an example?
Yeah, I think the classic example from a security standpoint of having multiple pieces of information that then can be used for that are usually benign would be something like the electric usage in a house, and determining whether there's your home or not. And obviously somebody can burglarize your house or cause other problems. And that's one of those things where you think, well, who cares if they know how much electricity is being used, or if my lights are on, or if somebody's in a room. Well, those bits of information certainly can be used to cause you harm. Certainly, the same thing is true in medicine, the area that I work in. That individually having information, say, on somebody's age, or information on some condition without directly identifying a person, you would think that those kind of things are fairly benign. But if you can start narrowing down the population of behavior, then it's not benign anymore. So you can kind of think of edge computing and this kind of global data in terms of if you have enough data elements individually, they may not mean anything. You might not be able to narrow something down, but in aggregate, you may be able to determine exactly what a person is doing and what they look like. You can actually look at this even from a genomic perspective, and we have certainly models now that will take a full genome of a person and tell you, in some ways, will tell you what they look like. Now, individually, those genes expressed kind of don't really mean anything that you wouldn't think from an identity standpoint. So that's really what we're talking about with privacy. And the idea here is that you may want to filter the amount you still want to operate, say, on the data that you're generating and collecting, but you may not want to transmit that to somebody you don't want to transmit. So I may want to have all my EEG readings and my health readings, and I want that to take place on a device that maybe I control, and I only want an event, once an event has been generated, to be able to have those things sent out, not that information being sent all the time. Same thing with decisions in my house and power control. I may not want the power company to know, or not a power company wouldn't be the problem. The problem would be some maybe internet company or somebody hacks into it to know all of my behaviors. That can be controlled within my house, and that would be taking those sort of decisions, taking the data and then not transmitting it when you don't need to, and making those decisions and controlled decisions within your house, not remotely. Now, the way that we're dealing with data now from an IoT and other standpoint, and this will be increasing, and this isn't something that 5G will solve because we'll continue to backhaul things over and over again, is that we're taking all the data that's generated, even if it's used across the room. Typically, it's possible that it will go to 1,000 miles or how many kilometers it is to a remote data center, and then come back to go to this to a device controlling something to maybe turn a doorknob on or turn a light on. So to me, it's just insane that you would have to transmit all of your data thousands of miles in order to be able to do anything with it. So from a privacy standpoint, it's controlling both your data and be able to make those things actionable and without having to do all this transmission. So with privacy preservation, you are essentially acting on the data closer to the source of data generation. So there's less likely that would be exposed.